got to know your role. And knowing your role is knowing the strength that you have and like how you bring that to whatever team you're on. So that's knowing your 1 and your 1A. So for like homework, you got to understand what's your 1 and what's your 1A and be real honest with yourself. The second thing is KYP. You got to know your personnel. Know who to get, know who to get the ball to, when to get them the ball, and where to get them the ball. And then the third thing is just what's your personal value level, right? Like what value do you bring to each situation that you're in? Now, because you can talk the basketball language and you understand things, again, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. When you do that, now it makes basketball so much easier. Because where everybody else trying to get in where they fit in, y'all are creating your own lane.
Yo, just so you understand it, this is Coach Carvel Bailey's program with the spirit of Bob Hambry. This is Blessed of All, helping athletes, and we represent. Study your craft, your mentality leads to excellence. It's all about your mindset. We'll never stop addressing this, so be positive and not a pessimist. Confidence took James Harden higher. If you really want it, it ain't gonna be easy. It's gonna be hard as carbon fiber, but we got you. From counseling to workshops, we do it. You'll go farther with a scholarship. We'll help you get recruited. Yo, anyone can dribble and shoot, but it's the ones who study basketball internally that make it to Duke University. Knowledge goes around. The game is played from the neck up and not from the shoulders down. This is Blessed to Ball, helping you with obstacles. The athletes are the rocket. Blessed to Ball is the rocket fuel. If you hit a wall, we can help you slowly climb it. So keep a Mamba mentality like Kobe Bryant. Blessed to Ball. Cherish the opportunities that you have. Blessed to Ball. Use your mentality to master the craft. Blessed to Ball. Come join our team. It's a new day. Follow our steps and watch how much better you play. Blessed to Ball. Cherish the opportunities that you have. Blessed to Ball. Use your mentality to master the craft. Blessed to Ball. Come join our team. It's a new day. Follow our steps and watch how much better you play. Yo, Coach Carvel Bailey. Hey, listen to your coach, man. He ain't no scrub off the street. That man got credentials, academic and street. Believe it. And my name is Strategic.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. How you doing? Welcome to another episode of Lunch and Learn. I am your host, Coach Carvel Bailey, and we're not on location. We actually at the crib today, not in the classroom. We are at the crib. Had a couple hiccups today, but guess what? As with any successful athlete, any successful person, adversity hits, and then you find a way to adapt and adjust and keep everything moving. So today I want to be able to help you. I want to be able to help you, the parent of an athlete, specifically a basketball player. And I always have coaches watching. I want to help the coaches as well. And so there's so many emphasis being put on athletes being a dog, right? Athletes, having that killer instinct, and athletes just being that dog, being that energetic and that go-to person. Well, unfortunately, a lot of coaches think that every athlete has that deep inside of them. They don't. They don't. And I'm going to kind of give you some scientific proof behind this thing. So I've been coaching again for 30 years, right? It'll be 30 years next year. It's 29 years that I've been coaching basketball and working with youth. But the last 3 or 4 years, I've really dove into the science of people and the science of athletes and the science of human behavior. And so what I found out is astonishing. And when I present it to most coaches have never even thought, they've never even opened their mind big enough to even grasp the fact that basketball is indeed an art and basketball is indeed a science. And when you can understand that basketball is an art and basketball is a science. You can be successful on any level with any athlete. And so today I want to talk about introverts and extroverts, right? I want to talk about introverts and extroverts because they're everywhere, right? We're all either an introvert or we're an extrovert. And that speaks to our behavioral characteristics, how we prefer to behave, how we prefer to communicate, and how we prefer to energize ourselves, right? And so I'm not going to go deep into it, but I just want to give you, actually, I'm going to give you 14. I'm going to give you 14 different qualities, 7 of each, 7 of an introvert, 7 of an extrovert, because your child is one or the other. And your child may be one and you may be another, and you as the parent are attempting to impose your behavior preferences, your communication styles, right? Your personality onto your athlete, and that's just not who they are. And then the frustration mounts, the frustration sets in, the confidence gets lower as usual, and then athletes don't want to play this game of basketball anymore. Have you ever heard your athlete or another athlete say they don't like playing basketball anymore? I hear this all the time. When I'm on the phone speaking to parents, when we're doing our recruitment discovery calls, right? There are so many athletes that like just don't want to play. And I've spoken to like so many parents, that haven't gotten on a call because they're looking at me and want to know, can you, Coach Bailey, give me some advice to be able to help my athlete, because maybe they're dealing with an injury, maybe they're overcoming an injury, maybe they're dealing with academics or overcoming academics, right? Maybe they're just finding themselves, right, going to different levels, freshman to sophomore. They have to find themselves. They have to become a different individual. They have to become a different person. Going from the sophomore JV level to the varsity, they have to become a different individual. So they're just finding themselves. And so, at some point, if you hear my dog, right, I just got a new puppy in the background and he is going crazy right now, right? But they found themselves with coaches or with people, and now they don't want to play the game anymore, because there's with individuals that don't understand who they are and don't understand how they are as a person, let alone an athlete. But this is the biggest part that's really sad. The athlete doesn't know who they are or how they operate or how they behave as a person, let alone an athlete. So they're totally confused because they're being taught this or told to do this, and it goes totally against who they are. So let me give you the 7, right? So what is an introvert, right? I'm gonna just give you some qualities, right? And you can figure out as you're hearing these qualities, is my athlete an introvert or are they an extrovert? Is my baby an introvert or an extrovert? Is my son or daughter an introvert or extrovert? And then on top of that, what is their coach? What are their teachers? What are those individuals around them that's pouring into them? And is that helping them or is that hurting them? And so you always know me, right? I always got my notes. And so I'm going to go pretty fast today. So I hope that you're taking notes because I'm going to go pretty fast. All right. So introverts, if we had to talk about introverts, here are some things about introverts, right? Most introverts are very analytical. They're very analytical, right? They're looking at things beyond what they see, and they're paying attention to those details. All right, that's 1. They're very analytical. 2, they're very reserved, right? They're very reserved. Now watch this. Introverts are analytical, but extroverts are more direct. Does that make sense, right? They're not necessarily taking time to think about certain things, right? So a coach may say one thing to an introvert. Now they're analytical and they're processing every word that's been said. Where extrovert, they're just going. They're very direct, straightforward. Introverts are reserved. Extroverts are enthusiastic, right? Introverts are more reserved, right? You may see a Kawhi Leonard. If Kawhi has that laugh, right, or Kawhi will just, kind of sit on the bench, kind of, to himself a little bit, right? They're more reserved. But the extroverts are totally enthusiastic, i.e., Ben Simmons, introvert, Joel Embiid, extrovert. Like, I can go in and fix Philly's situation if Doc Rivers just called me and say, "Can you come sit down with me, my staff, and do an hour workshop so that we can understand who we're dealing with, and then from there, then sit down with my players so that they can understand who they are and we can understand who we're dealing with." Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid, even though they're the two best players on that team, they don't gel. They could gel, but they don't. One is enthusiastic, one is more reserved. Introverts are more even-tempered. Ben Simmons missed a layup. He don't really, a lot of facial, like he even-tempered. But then most coaches can't stand those players. So is your athlete that type that don't get too high, too low? They stay even-tempered, and then the coach like, you don't care. They do care. They care a lot. They just don't show it like the extrovert does. Because while they're even-tempered, the extrovert is strong-willed, right? Extroverts are very emotional also, right? So you get, case in point, Ben Simmons lost the game, even-tempered. Joel Embiid, the Sixers lost the series, Toronto. Joel Embiid crying. And I made a video about that. Go back to my YouTube page and go watch the video I made. I don't blame Joel Embiid for crying. That means he cares. It doesn't mean that Ben Simmons doesn't care. They're just two different people. Joel Embiid wears his feelings on his shoulders. That's why he's always talking about that he owns the real estate between, people's minds. Well, Ben Simmons just going to go with the flow. And this isn't about Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. I'm just giving you some examples. I'm going to change it up for my hip hop people. Watch this. Introverts are more conservative. Extroverts have more of a big personality, right? Again, Scottie Pippen, right, is more conservative. Michael Jordan had a big personality, right? Scottie Pippen dunked on Patrick Ewing. And the most emotion he did was just kind of pushed down after he dunked on Pat Ewing. But like a year or two before that, when they were in the Garden and Michael Jordan scored on Pat Ewing and got that and one, and on Charles, I can't think of his last name, right? And got the and one, and Mike, yeah, you see Mike after games, right? They have a big personality. And everybody can't deal with that. They don't know how to deal with that because these are two totally different people. All right. Introverts are very systematic. As I said earlier, right? Analytical, systematic. Extroverts are more direct. A coach says something, the extrovert just going with it. They ain't heard nothing. They just focus on winning or doing what needs to be done. But that introvert is systematic and analytical. So they've done all those steps needed. Go set a screen, open up, flare out. That extrovert just give me the ball. They're like very direct. But then the coaches get mad at the extrovert. Why aren't you paying attention to the calls? You can't run a play. Well, they're not wired like that. They're not wired like that. I went and sat in on a college practice, the first college practice I've been to in over 2 years, right? Went school that I used to coach at, and they have a extrovert on their team. They have a pilot on their team. I'm not going to get into all that today, right? But at South Suburban College here in South Highland, Illinois, Chicagoland, they have a direct extrovert on their team. But then they have also, which is what I was told, is supposed to be one of the best players on the team. He's an introvert all the way. And I'm sitting there looking at them practice, and I'm like, yep, boom, extrovert, introvert. It's like, okay, how come you can't make this shot? How come you don't shoot it? They different people. You got to put them, you have to put these characters and characteristics in the right position to be successful. Everybody is not an extrovert. Everybody is not going to be a Kobe Bryant, a Michael Jordan, a Magic Johnson, a LeBron James. They're not. But what about the Tim Duncans, the Scottie Pippins, the Kawhi Leonards? What about those type of people? The Hakeem Olajuwons. What about those type of people? Are they less talented? Are they less able to get recruited? Are they less able to land a big contract? Are they less able to help a team win? Not really. But will the coach know how to put them in the right situation so that they can be successful? Will the coach do that? Will they put them in the right situation to be successful based on them being an introvert or them being an extrovert? And even in the work setting, even at home, in our home setting, it doesn't mean one is bad. It doesn't mean that one is good. It means that we should learn each other, but we can't do that until we first self-assess ourselves and have greater self-awareness of how we are, who we are, how we communicate, how we prefer to behave, so that we can get the most and be efficient, there go that word again, out of anything that we're doing. And I'm going to give you my final two, and I'm going to be done with it. Introverts are energized by one-on-one time, right? Introverts are energized by being alone. So coaches may be like, man, this person like bad for the team. Like he don't interact with everybody. Don't like that person is recharging. Because when they have to get around people or be on a team or do a lot of talking, that drains them because that's not really who they and how they are. But then you got those people that's just energized by people. Those extroverts are energized by people. They always got to be around people. They always talking a lot. You know, they ain't never met a stranger. Moving pretty fast. Extroverts move pretty slow. So a lot of coaches think that most introverts are lazy, don't care, and they get on most coaches' nerves because guess what? Most introverts are probably the best players on the team, possibly the best shooters on the team also. Or let me say the most skilled. I'm not going to say the best, but the most skilled. And they understand more majority of times. But coaches want that dog that's going to go get it. But that dog done ran off and forgot his leash, so to speak. Right? Where that introvert moves slow. I got to get my leash. I got to get everything I need because I'm going out here on the hunt. So introverts are really, really energized by being alone. Extroverts are energized by being with people. And then the final one is like, and I talked about this, but introverts really compose their thoughts before they speak. That's why they don't talk a lot, because they processing and they're getting their thoughts together. Because remember, they're probably processing every word being said. That's what causes them to move a little bit slower. But extroverts, on the other hand, they think out loud, right? And that's probably happened to all of us. Have you ever thought something and like, ooh, and it done slipped out? You like, did I say that? Like extroverts just go like, oops, I didn't forgot my coat because you're moving fast, right? So those are the 7 points, right? Those are just 7 points on both ends. And hopefully, this will help you be able to identify just a little bit more, right? To give you and your athlete just a little bit more to add to their toolbox to kind of know, okay, this is how I prefer to communicate, coach. This is how I prefer to behave. This is how I prefer to operate. Again, prefer. It don't mean that this is who I am, but this is what I do best, right? This is how I am. These are characteristics of me. I had to make sure to see if my dog was in there, right? These are characteristics of me. But most coaches, right? And I don't know who your athlete's coach is, but I assure you, your coach doesn't understand this science and they don't understand the art behind it. Right? When you understand the science, then you can help the kid with the artistic form of being a tremendous basketball player. Now, think about how this will help your athlete not only on the court, but how it will help them off the court, in class, around the house, even in recruitment. When I talk about be the right recruit, your athlete has to know, right? And so our clients at Hoops Mastery, they go from being the hunter to the hunted. Most parents and most athletes right now, they're just hunting for exposure. They're hunting for scholarship offers. They're hunting for anybody that will take a chance on them and recruit the athlete. The players at Hoops Mastery, they understand how to be hunted. Hunted. Even when I was in college, my players understood how to be hunted. That means we're not looking for 1,000 offers. We're looking for one. And we're looking for that right one. And that right one based on who is that coach? How does that coach operate? Does he fit my learning style? Does he fit my play style? Do I fit his teaching style? See, it's a lot more into this recruitment thing and this exposure thing than just putting the ball in the basket. That's why we have so many people in the transfer portal, which now makes it harder, some people think, for the seniors and the juniors now because there's so many people in the transfer portal. So a coach will say, I'd rather have this kid with experience in the transfer portal. But that kid is in the transfer portal for a reason. Now, all fits aren't a good fit. We want for your athlete to find the right fit. But if you quit once, you'll probably quit again. That's what most coaches are thinking. But if most coaches took the time, but if most parents took the time to understand, okay, this may be in high school who my kid has to play for. But then even on the AAU, your kid doesn't have to play for certain coaches and programs that don't fit who they are. How many people are working a job right now and it's just not the right job for them? Well, basketball is a job on the next level. So some people, right, maybe even you, right, you may hate your job, may be miserable. You want your athlete to feel that same way, right? How they gonna focus now when they got to go to school and sit in that class with that professor, but they know they got to go to practice and this coach is a butthole or this coach just don't gel up with who I am. They asked Doc Rivers, do you think you can win a championship with Ben Simmons? And he said, I don't know. Ben Simmons broke down that I don't know 1,000 different ways. 1,000 different ways. What does he mean by that? Why did he say that? What's going on with that? Okay, not maybe my confidence in myself went down, but I don't have confidence in him as a coach anymore. So I don't want to play for them no more. And I'm going to do everything that I can to not play for them no more. Meanwhile, the extrovert is like, oh, he's soft. I can't do it. Different people. Different people. Right? But you ask Joel Embiid to like focus on something over the course of the long haul, can he do it? Dame Dash and Jay-Z. Dame is an extrovert all the way. Jay is an introvert. One is a billionaire. One is still a multimillionaire. Both moguls. Both moguls. Don't get it twisted. But to me, part of that breakup was because when Jay was processing things and moving at a certain pace, Dame was like, we got to go. And Jay like, no, slow and steady is the course, my brother. He said, right, Dame would have had more if he read his contract or signed his contract. Extroverts just want to go, go, go. So I just wanted to come on here, right? Because I talk about it all the time, introverts and extroverts. And sometimes I throw subliminal messages and subliminal clues out there, but I want to be direct with you all, right? I'm going to go into my extrovert. I get on here, I'm an extrovert, but Coach Bailey normally is an introvert, right? Now they call that an ambivert, which is a whole nother thing. They call that an ambivert, that you have both traits. Again, an extrovert is not better than an introvert. An introvert is not better than an extrovert. But if you don't know how you prefer to behave, communicate, and operate, it's going to be difficult to get to that next level in basketball or in life. Period. And now I've just given you like 7 things, right? You can see here I got more than 7, but I only checked 7. But it's so much more that we can go into this. Right. And for those people that don't know, like the past 2.5 years, I've partnered with the #1 motivational speaker in the world, Dr. Eric Thomas, and his company and crew. Right. And we offer like basketball assessments. Right. All of our clients at Hoops Mastery, they take the basketball assessment so that they understand how they are, how they prefer to communicate, how they prefer to operate. Now, when they know themselves a little bit better, that instantly raises their confidence, because it's like, oh, ain't nothing wrong with me. Like that coach been saying I'm soft, but no, I really ain't soft. I'm really the only one on the team that can break the defense down. That's why I'm always in position. But the coach is mad because I'm not just out here putting the ball in the basket. That's not my job. That's not my superpower. But without me, the team wouldn't be anywhere. So athletes' confidence go up automatically because they become more self-aware, because they've done a self-assessment. When last time your kid did a self-assessment? When last time have they self-assessed? When last time have you self-assessed? I just want to pose that question. In life, we should always be growing. We should always be assessing ourselves, right? And then we should also always be aware of how we are and who we are. I was telling my students yesterday about recognizing patterns. Patterns. When you're aware of who you are, because you've assessed who you are, that means just look in the mirror and look at me. Let me assess what's going on, okay? Got a cut under my eye, right? Bald head a little bit, right? Little bags under, right? I'm assessed. Now I'm more aware. So somebody say, man, you look tired. Well, yeah, I went and got a dog last night. Dog been whining all day because it's a new environment, so I didn't sleep, so kind of some bags. And so I'm aware. But if I'm not aware, I'm going to go off on the person that's talking to me, because I'm not aware of what they're saying, because I haven't assessed. How much better could your athlete be if they assessed themselves and if they were more aware of how they operated? How could that help them, not only this season, but in the coming seasons, in the classroom, at home, in their personal life, beyond basketball? It's not just a book title. It's not just a book title. It's a way of life. So what we're putting in place, right? What we're putting in place for Black Friday, what we're putting in place is we're gonna make available, and it's probably gonna start maybe like next Monday coming up. We're gonna make available is for parents and athletes, right, that want to take the athletic assessment to be able to find out if your athlete is an introvert, they're an extrovert, right? Find out what they do well, find out what their superpower is, right? Find out what they bring to the team, what they bring to the classroom, what they bring to the household, what they bring any place that they go. They'll be able to get all of this information and be aware just from the results of the athletic assessment. And then parents, right, if they want to take it, if you all want to take it as well, so that you can know, right? And so that you can better communicate with your athlete, better communicate with your spouse, with your boss, with your friends, right? We have that as well. So we'll be rolling that out. I'm not sure if, certain people are interested. If you are interested, you could just put right down here in the chat. You could drop a 1 or I am, so we can contact you directly. But if nothing more, I want you all to walk away from this 30-minute lunch and learn with a little bit more information to be able to help your athlete go further. Again, our Hoops Mastery program is not for everybody. Hoops Mastery University is not for everybody. It's not free and it's definitely not cheap, but we get the results that our athletes and the parents of our athletes are looking for because we help them assess and we help them become more aware. Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant was great because everybody thought they were buttholes, but they were aware of that. If you saw The Last Dance, you heard Mike and he got emotional and said, hey, this is how I am. If you don't like it, you don't have to play with me. But I'm direct, right? I'm high energy. I'm enthusiastic. I'm direct. I'm strong-willed. I'm energized by people. I think out loud sometimes. And if you can't deal with that, don't play with me. But all those that was able to deal with it, they got championships and they got stories. They got championships to go with those stories. He punched Bill Cartwright. He punched Will Perdue. I'm not saying punch people, but them two dudes got championships to go with those stories. Scottie Pippen got a book now. Scotty's an introvert. Scotty was hurting just like Ben Simmons. But Scotty got rings to go with that. I'm not saying take whatever hurt to get some rings. I'm not saying that. But Scotty got rings to go with that. And Mike understood I can't win one without Scotty. Scotty's issue, one, was Mike didn't care about Scotty's money because that wasn't Mike's concern. Mike's concern was winning championships. So Scotty got to do whatever he got to do, sit out, protest, whatever he got to do. We going to run this thing until he get back. That probably made Scotty upset. This supposed to be my guy, but like Mike, this is a business right now. And then Scotty had an issue with The Last Dance because it didn't tell everybody's story. Well, Mike is the one that thought about it. Mike is the one that paid for the camera crews over 10, 15 years ago to follow them that last dance. Scotty got a book now. Scotty got a story. Everybody has a story. But without that introvert on that Chicago Bulls team, us here in Chicago would never have 6. And Mike understood that. Without Scotty, there are no championships. But without Mike, there are no championship appearances. I hope that makes sense. All right. So let me go check out some of these comments. Because I've been going in. Miss Scott, it's always good to see you here. My man, still coachable. Always. San Diego by way of Peoria. That's my guy right there, right? Introvert. I was 6'3" in the 8th grade. Took time to coordination to catch up my body. Didn't have nothing to say. Trying to catch those. Most post players are introverts. And Joel Embiid is a little bit different, right? Because they grow so fast and they may feel like they're out of place and all that. That's a great point. Sierra say her son is an introvert. Yep. Miss Scott, yep. Boom, boom. There we go. OMG. What's OMG, Miss Scott? What's OMG? Talk to us. Facts. Miss Collins say facts, right? Ben Simmons comment, just real. I mean, I broke this down. And I had people argue me up and down. Man, what are you talking about? Introvert. What I'm like, but again, I have a master's in coaching. I'm not just a coach. I have a master's degree in athletic coaching and athletic administration, a master's degree in 29 years of doing this. I've studied the science, literally. I've studied the science. And then I went and partnered with the #1 motivational speaker in the world. I think I know what I'm talking about on this thing. You are welcome, Miss Guy. You are welcome. Coach, what do if coach portrays the program one way that will fit your player and is not really that way after the player gets there? That's a great point, Dion. I mean, Derek, because that happens all the time, right? A lot of coaches can be used car salesmen and they say anything to be able to get the athlete there and to get the athlete on the team, and then they switch. So my advice to you as a parent, don't be afraid to have those uncomfortable conversations. Don't be afraid to have those uncomfortable conversations as a parent, because your main goal is the success of your child. That's not selfish. You can cheer for the team, but your main goal is for the success of your child. So you got to be to ask them tough questions, right? If you can't already see through them or the BS, you got to be to ask them tough questions. That's what I would say, definitely, right? Saving under human socialization and relationships. Absolutely. Yep. Derek, I am. Okay. Daryl, one. Okay, so Daryl, I'm gonna make sure. Great information. Yep. Make sure I reach out to you. Yep. You hit it on the head with my son. Okay. Which part, Shan? And we do for a conversation anyway. My son is a guard and an introvert, right? Guards can make the best introverts, right? Magic Johnson. Everybody not gonna be like Magic Johnson or Chris Paul, right? Those extroverts. But them introverts, right? Like I'm pretty sure, Derek, that your son could probably spot the open man in the dark because they watching everything and they see it. Used car salesman, you get it. You understand. All right, so I know Derek and Daryl, right? Y'all are both interested. Do me a favor, Derek and Daryl. Inbox me you all's email address. Inbox me you all's email address, because generally those that are on my email list get like information first. But just inbox me with your email address, and I'm going to make sure that I reach out to you all on Monday with the information, right? To where you all can go and you can purchase the actual athlete assessment. And, you can let me know if you want it for yourself and your athlete or just your athlete, and we can make sure that we get it to you. And we'll get that out to you Monday. So just make sure that you inbox me your email address so I can get everything to you. Yes, he's an introvert. Everything you said, I seen him after his injury last year. I'm telling you, right? And so we're not gonna have this conversation on here, Miss Scott. But I know last time it was with our schedules based on the time that you actually had set up didn't work. And again, the reason why we're doing this and we're doing this now, because we understand that everybody may not be ready to invest into their child, because most people may not even invest into their self, but they may not be ready to invest at that time for our program. But at least they can walk away with something tangible that they can say, this is information that my athlete can go and have more awareness and be able to apply right away. So, yeah, definitely reach out to us. Yeah, definitely reach out to us. Booking Now conversation has to happen. Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen, Miss Scott. Let's make it happen, right? Indiana high schools are not ready for the talents and the gifts that your son has if he understands how to implement them, the strategies, right, the right way. Even coming back from an injury, right? Even coming back from an injury, because that's all here, right? That's all here. Once he can get past that, right? Once she can get past that, then the sky's the limit, right? He, she, right? Because boys and girls have injuries. But once that athlete can get past that injury, right? And that's why they go to therapy. But the therapy doesn't work on the mind. The therapy just works on the muscle or the ligament. Basketball is 90% mental, 10% physical. Once we get that established, sky's the limit. All right, so I got to get out of here. I got to go and get my son. I hope this made sense. Ms. Scott, I will have my assistant looking for your application right for our call. Definitely. Derek and Daryl, definitely inbox me your email address. We'll get that out to you all so that you all can take it. Hey, listen, I hope that today has been very, very beneficial, right? So I'm not at work today. I'm at the crib. So I had a little bit more time to go more into depth. So this is kind of an extended version of Lunch and Learn today. Life and Basketball, the podcast, will be coming back. You see, we getting different studios set up, right? I got 2 different studios in the crib. So we're just figuring out which one that we want to work in. And hey, I ain't gonna keep y'all. This is Coach Bailey. Share this with somebody that you know can benefit from it, right? Your athlete's coach, your athlete's parent, your athlete, even their teammates. All right, Coach Carvel Bailey. Till next time, y'all. We out.
Yo, just so you understand it, this is Coach Carvel Bailey's program with the spirit of Bob Hambry. This is Blessed to Ball, helping athletes, and we represent. Study your craft, your mentality leads to excellence. It's all about your mindset. We'll never stop addressing this, so be positive and not a pessimist. Confidence took James Harden higher. If you really want it, it ain't gonna be easy. It's gonna be hard as carbon fiber, but we got you. From counseling to workshops, we do it. You'll go farther with a scholarship. We'll help you get recruited. Yo, anyone can dribble and shoot, but it's the ones who study basketball internally that make it to Duke University. Knowledge goes around. The game is played from the neck up and not from the shoulders down. This is Blessed to Ball, helping you with obstacles. The athletes are the rocket. Blessed to Ball is the rocket fuel. If you hit a wall, we can help you slowly climb it. So keep a Mamba mentality like Kobe Bryant. Blessed to Ball. Cherish the opportunities that you have. Blessed to Ball. Use your mentality to master the craft. Blessed to Ball. Come join our team, it's a new day. Follow our steps and watch how much better you play. Blessed to Ball. Cherish the opportunities that you have. Blessed to Ball. Use your mentality to master the craft. Blessed to Ball. Come join our team, it's a new day. Follow our steps and watch how much better you play. Yo, Coach Carvel Bailey. Hey, listen to your coach, man. He ain't no scrub off the street. That man got credentials, academic and street. Believe it. And my name is strategic.